Greetings, fellow investigators, and welcome back to our video podcast, Into the Darkness, where my friends and I are playing the Delta Green role-playing game. I'm your host, Tom Rayleigh. The scenario is Phlebotomy. It was written by Jeff Moeller and his crew, and it is from the collection Fear's Sharp Little Needles. It's available from Drive-Thru RPG. Our game master is John Dos Passos, and this is episode 1 that continues from the last scenario that we ran, Focus Group and Separation Anxiety. If you haven't watched those, I recommend starting there. Our recap will be given by Alex Sun as his character, Agent Paragon. But before we begin, we have a new patron. Matthew Balant has pledged $5 a month to our club. Thank you very much, Matthew. So without any further delay, let's continue our journey into the darkness. Alex?
This is audio log number 3. This is new designation, Agent Paragon here. I've been assigned to another cell to fill in an empty space. Looks like this group lost someone. I can relate to that. I met up with the new group at the Green Dragon Tarot and Psychic Shop to be briefed on Operation Appalachian Sunrise. I like Agent Prada's style, but he treats me like a kid. That's fine. It's good to be underestimated. Agent Patch seems reliable. Hopefully none of us will need her medical expertise in the future. Agent Parsnip is our computer specialist. He knows exactly how to stick his nose where it doesn't belong, and I can respect that. Lastly, there's Agent Pond. He sticks out like a sore thumb with that fake blonde hair, and I guess every group needs its brute tool. We were sent in by our handler to investigate a focus group organized by a sleep clinic doctor, Dr. Kleck. Dr. Kleck was developing an augmented reality mobile app for a gaming company. The game's name was called The Cage of Morpheus. Our handler got us into the focus group as participants. We scoped out the place via Google Maps and headed in. At first it all seemed normal, but that's how it always is, isn't it? We were led into a room with a one-way mirror by an assistant. We were also greeted by someone who we believed at the time to be Dr. Kleck. I managed to plant some bugs, and we all downloaded the app on our burners to start playing. It was an interesting game, one that gave us riddles using augmented reality. It got really weird when we started seeing things in the game that manifested themselves in real life. And then that damn sock puppet started yelling at us to open the brass box on the table. It spoke directly into our minds. We were all unsure whether to open the box or not. But it was when we did research on Niles Garnell, Dr. Kleck's mentor, where we discovered that the brass box was linked to a unfortunate demise. At this point, we had reason to believe that opening the box would be very bad. It would be safer in our hands. When Agent Pond got violent with Dr. Kleck, the doctor revealed that he was just an actor. The real Dr. Kleck wanted us to open the box like some guinea pigs, so that confirmed our suspicions. We turned the game's catchy music off, and we were no longer affected by the monkey and the hallucinations. Must be some kind of hypnosis effect in the audio. With the actors scared off, we investigated the back offices where we found information on a London Sinclair. She's a celebrity with Farnsworth-Bell syndrome, which relates to the other group's, the group's earlier opera. We detected a cleanup crew pulling up, so we quietly extracted with the brass box and the sock monkey. From the bugs we planted, we heard that the cleanup crew was clearing rooms of the clinic. They sounded really professional. The handler gave us orders to relocate items from an old green box to a new green box. We plan on putting the brass box into a block of concrete and the monkey with it in the green box. We'll leave a note. Do not break the concrete block. Do not open the box within. And do not listen to the monkey. After that, we will be on our way to investigate a violent incident at a quick lab facility. End of recording. This message will self-destruct in 3 seconds.
Take it away, John.
Get out of here. All right, thank you. Yeah, so just real quick here, we'll do a little bit of the number side of things. We're going to go through home scenes really quick, little home scenes on the move as the agents are transitioning from one case to the next. So we're just going to go ahead down through the sort of list we have on my screen. So we'll start with Hades Vandermeer, our Agent Prada.
I am not going to do much of anything but study the material that I confiscated from the...
Understood. Awesome. You can add the third thing that we talked about. If you want to add that as well, you can.
Okay.
Awesome. Cool. So next up, we can go to Agent Patch.
I'll be calling my husband and just fulfilling my responsibilities, touching base. It's been a little while.
Very responsible. Very good. Awesome. Yeah. So you can go ahead and roll. You can go ahead and roll your dice there and gain. Or actually, sorry. Do first your sand roll.
That's
and then
I was wondering if I can remember what the roll itself was.
A lot of these are sand rolls.
54. Let's see what that is. Oh, nope. That's a fail.
Okay, so in that case, you just so since it is not a fumble, you're just going to increase a bond by a single point.
Okay.
Because you did still put in the time. You had a nice little conversation. It was a little sort of de-stressor before you jump right back into it. All right, next up we will do Parsnip.
Okay. So yeah, I want to have an opportunity, if I can, to actually I'm not going to open the box, but I want to study the box.
Okay. Do you want to study the unnatural?
Sure.
All right. Yeah. So go ahead and put, this sort of marks a period of study, because you're going to have to you're going to take some notes now and have to sort of look some things up later when you have more time. Unfortunately, this does mean that you're going to have to remove 1d4 from a bond, as you are putting a lot of time and emotions and sort of being a little bit detached as you're diving into the mythos here.
Okay. 3. Okay. So I'll reduce that from my best friend, Gary.
Okay.
Yeah, he and I are big into prepping and whatnot. And normally we spend a lot of time together, but just preoccupied with these other things. So I don't have time to hang out with Gary.
Yeah, so you can also go ahead and roll another d4 for me. As you're studying the box, you're going to get a little insight into the unnatural, just a little bit here. Just by studying the box alone, it's hard because it could mean a lot of things. The wood could mean something, what it's made out of. Obviously this sort of this sign on the front is very important. As you're studying it, you realize that some of the sort of engravings on the side and the patterns, they actually remind you of some of the things you were studying in the tome that you read. Relating the Appalachia tome, the tales and stories. Particularly the ornithology stuff, sort of the study of dreams. You think that this box and what's inside likely have something to do with the realm of dreams that you have sort of found, by reading Dr. Kleck and his predecessors' files and doing your own research. See, this box is definitely connected to that. And not only that, like I said, you think that there is something inside and that it is something either from an alternate sort of version, like a dream version of this reality, or you think perhaps it is actually possible that it is an alternate dream reality of a different dimension or reality, if that makes sense. Like the dream of another dimension. Because it seems that there's not just this dream realm for our reality, there are multiple dream realms. You're starting to find out from your research and from sort of what you tapped in with the other home scene as well.
Okay.
Awesome. So whether you want to share what you found during the card is up to you. All right. Next we go to Agent Paragon.
So I want to call up my wife and get the daughter on the phone. And I'm just going to tell my daughter that, hey, Baba's going to be away on a trip for a while. And, he's off saving the world because he's a superhero.
They're like, well, please be safe. I'd love to see you soon. But it is good just by hearing their voice, that kind of keeps you in touch with, why you're here exactly. You're not just like losing yourself in the, in the mission or the purpose or the chase. There is a, you're all here for a reason. You're here because you have to be, because somebody has to do this. And this gives, sort of your work a little more meaning. And so you can go ahead and make the SAN roll for that.
Pass.
Awesome. Awesome. And so were you were trying to fulfill responsibilities, correct? Or
yes.
Yeah. So yeah, you can go ahead and roll a D6 and add that to one of your bonds. Probably them if they're a bond. All right.
Roll the 4.
Nice, great. You might need to project that away later, so it's good that you have that. All right, and last but not least, all right, Chuck. Sorry, well, I'm looking at Chuck now. Our agent John Smith. Yeah.
Yes, he is calling his wife Tabitha to fulfill responsibilities as the action, and is basically trying to argue that she should once again go into hiding to keep herself safe. This group that showed up for cleaning kind of scared him a little bit.
Pawn is a little paranoid.
He is a little paranoid, and so much that he failed on his sanity check. So he does improve the bond by 1, but I doubt it goes too well.
Yeah, she's obviously very concerned, and so this is some very concerning things to call up and say. But it's still, like I said, it's still good at least to have that chat and just sort of get away for a moment before diving right back in, as I said. Awesome, cool. And so for this one, I thought it would be cool if we all, so we sort of heard from last time that there has been an incident at a local, a quick lab, in Ohio, outside of Cleveland. And so we're going to start sort of in media res. So we're going to start as everyone here's going to be playing civilians. And so we can have everybody just sort of introduce themselves real quick as you're all arriving. It is currently 7:05 a.m. in the morning. Some of you are here for your sort of 7 a.m. or 7:10 appointment, or perhaps early for your next one. But you all notice that unfortunately, the place is not yet opened. It seems they're running a little late. And so we can just go through here and everybody can sort of introduce themselves. We'll go ahead and do the same order here. Just go ahead and say, just who you are, why you're here. Just a little.
Yeah, my name is Cal Meeps, and I am just the delivery boy. When they take the samples, I run them over to the if they need to send them to the alternate lab. So I just wait around until they need me. And I get paid for it. Which is...
Lucy Guidry, very, very heavily pregnant, coming up on that due date any day now. Standard blood work getting done this morning, first thing. She hasn't had anything because she's on fasting, so she's grumpy, hungry, and thirsty.
I am Mr. Phelps of Sampson and Phelps Law Firm. I'm here to just get my blood drawn or whatever. They want to see if I have a disease that I can't pronounce.
Right. And then, Parsnip, you are
okay.
This one.
Yeah, I'm Nancy. Got my last name taped over, so my identity, I'm the nurse here. I don't really like my job, but I'm here. And, I stick people. That kind of makes me happy. So.
And in fact, right now you're kind of you're waiting for the other nurse to open up things, and you're covering actually for the receptionist who's actually unfortunately called out. So luckily you won't have to stick anybody, but you will be doing some work.
Hate paperwork.
Right. And last but not least, Chuck.
Chuck, big, tall trucker hat on. He's got one of those neck braces on to kind of protect him. He was in an accident. He's just here for a drug test, but I'm sure it won't find anything.
All right. Yes. And with you, there's also a man in a wheelchair and his nurse. And they're also kind of, sort of complaining. It seems that he had, a 7 o'clock appointment. So he's a little bit, perturbed. She's, he's very perturbed, but she's, saying, at least they can, go get breakfast afterwards, he mentions that, he wants to go to a local, some local diner. And, that at least seems to cheer him up a little bit. It's like I said, it's about 7:05, and you actually all notice that a limousine actually pulls up in front of the quick lab. And you see 2 people get out, and you actually see, this is around the time that the door seems to unlock. And you see 2 people come out, and it seems that the person, the other nurse that's there, she goes ahead and she lets these people in first. They rush right in. You do notice that they're a little unusual. The woman, she's wearing a interesting sort of outfit. She's got Versace, like designer sweat clothes. very expensive sneakers. Prada, of course, would know exactly, these brands and know how expensive these are when he gets here. That is, sorry, I just thought about that. But yeah, and so as you see, she's looks like she has these oversized sunglasses and a black wig under a ball cap, but she seems very beautiful, kind of ectomorphic. And with her, there is a large, 6 foot white, male weightlifter, sort of, dripping in these gold chains and rings that is accompanying her. And they both, sort of rush inside. And then, you see the nurse comes out. She says, "Oh, I'm so sorry. We're running a little behind today. We had a call out. And, we just had a terrible day today. Sorry about that. But, come on in. We'll get you all sorted out." She, of course, helps, the man in the wheelchair, Mr. Krennic, that you have heard, met in there. Yeah, and so you all rush inside, getting the waiting room. It seems that the two people have sort of already gone back, and the nurse says that she'll be right back. She's going to go get things set up, and then she will get Mr. Krennic in for his appointment first. So you're all sort of in the waiting room, and you can see there's the regular magazines, sort of there's seems they have a coffee that's just now starting to brew.
Hey, how come she gets to go in first? What gives? Why is she going in first?
I don't know.
She just skipped the goddamn line.
It's too early for arguments. Let's just get through the day.
These things don't take very long. Don't worry about it. You'll be in and out in no time. Don't worry about it. I have a magazine, by the way.
Do we recognize this person that just blustered through?
Yeah, you could actually do a. I guess this would be just sort of like an intelligence sort of luck roll. So just roll, a D100, and then if it's less than 50, you would know. You would perhaps recognize them.
I got a 17. Yeah.
Yeah, you think this is actually a celebrity. You think this is London Sinclair. You actually saw. You remember her TV show, the London Falling. Crazy antics on that show.
Oh my! Was that London Sinclair though?
You say London Sinclair is here? What?
That'd be cool. Is she from here? I mean, God, she's got to be living in Hollywood right now, right?
Yeah, usually those rich people don't talk to people in their in lower tax brackets.
Yeah, and her show went down, right?
What was that?
Where are we located?
This is right outside Cleveland. So you're still like in Ohio.
Yeah.
Well, her show went off the air, didn't it? Because of that thing with the lady.
Yeah, right. London Falling, I think it was called.
Yeah.
From all accounts, I've read her Wikipedia page. She seems kind of like a hot mess, to be honest. So
all celebrities are hot messes.
Isn't that all part of the publicity? They want to be hot messes so that you have something to watch. It's a freak show. It's a freak show on TV.
Makes good entertainment.
Do you think maybe there's some paparazzi around here that's keeping an eye? Maybe they're taking pictures of this so they can be like, "Oh, she's going to rehab."
What is she doing in Ohio for all of all places? That's so weird.
What she doing? Getting a blood test?
Maybe it's drugs.
Maybe they should have private doctors or something.
Yeah, well, she better hurry up. I got some clients waiting.
We're short-staffed this morning. I'm sorry.
Look, the vampires are just waking up. They need some time.
I'll be honest, Nancy. I'm looking. You don't seem that sorry, but all right.
I haven't had my coffee yet. I'm sorry.
A few minutes go by, and then I would like you all to sort of do again, you can do a sort of listen roll. I just assume that you have a 50, alertness roll rather.
11.
Oh, wow. So yes, Mr. Phelps, you're kind of on edge. You really just want to get this done. Your time is worth a lot of money. People pay you for your time, a lot of money. And so you're kind of just sort of on edge, and you're kind of like just waiting to hear that nurse come back so you can get on with the next appointment and get to yours. And you hear sounds like sort of disagreement, some people sort of arguing, and you kind of like, you walk over closer to the door to, to the rest of the lab. And you hear, so something about, somebody is like a man, questioning like, do we really have to sign this damn thing? Come on. And there's a woman, that's, probably the nurse you hear, and she's like, well, we have to maintain the chain of custody, it's the law. And, you hear some grumbling about cameras. And then that's, seems to be about it. And then it just sort of goes back to the dull sort of, regular little sound of movement, but, nothing particular that you would hear.
At this rate, it doesn't sound like they're getting out anytime soon. They're arguing about God knows what.
Rich people, rich problems.
You think she'd sign something for my girlfriend if I, gave it to her?
I bet she's probably going to go out the back. Don't want to be bothered with us losers.
I don't know. She's got to go back out to the limo, right?
She's in the entertainment field. She'll probably give you a blowjob if you give her enough money.
Well, my girlfriend would not like that.
Did you hear about that sex tape, though? Do you think it's true?
It's a tape.
Well, yeah, but the grainy footage and crap,
I don't think it's a tape anymore. Isn't it digital?
Well, yeah, but do you think it's her? I mean,
yeah, for all you know, it might be like deep faked or whatever they come out with the nowadays.
Well, Mr. Phelps, you're a lawyer. If somebody said that you'd made a sex tape and it wasn't you, wouldn't you sue the hell out of them?
I would prosecute to the fullest extent of the law.
Yeah, she
absolutely
hasn't done that. She hasn't done that. I think that they could prove that it's her.
Maybe it's something she's proud of.
Maybe.
She ain't a bad-looking girl, so, there's nothing wrong with the beauty of the naked human form.
Well, and that's a good way to get PR, good PR.
Yeah, I don't say it's good PR.
Well, don't they say right? Any PR?
Yeah. Any press is good press.
The people who get bad press say that. People who never get bad press, they don't have to say that.
And it's, again, a few more minutes go by. It's almost, about 7:24 at this point. Some of you are getting a little impatient. And you actually, the door inside the lobby of the lab opens. And there is a man, about a middle-aged, a slightly older gentleman. He's wearing a ball cap, and jeans and a polo shirt. And he opens the door very quickly and looks into the waiting room. And then he sort of strangely goes, "Oh, sorry, wrong office," and closes the door and leaves back into the hallway. But the building you're in, this quick lab obviously shares this complex, or the building in this complex with a dentist office and another healthcare provider, but this is the only one that's open this early today. So
now, was he outside the building and looked in our door?
He was inside. He came in into the building, and then he came in through the hallway into the quick lab part of the building, opened the door inside and looked inside, said, "Oops, wrong office," and then closed it very quickly.
And I go after him since I'm staff and ask.
Sure. Yeah, you definitely can. As you come out, you see that he's going towards the back of the building, towards like somewhere where there's parking lot in the back.
Okay, I'm going to call out, "Sir, you're not supposed to come in that way."
And he just says, "Sorry to bother, wrong thing." And he kind of, turns to the side of the building, like he's sort of making a beeline for his vehicle.
I'm gonna kind of follow him just to kind of see what he gets into and just see how this plays out. Why not?
Yeah, you see him get he jumps into a Toyota sedan, and he basically just drives off. You do catch him though, so if you want to write down his license plate number, you have this opportunity.
Yeah, I'm gonna write down his license plate number, because this is sketchy. He knows this is not the front entrance. He knows that. Anybody would know that.
Yeah, and it's a random license plate. It's like a QRF 55 F6. So it's not like anything like hot rod or anything like that. But you got it. Okay. Should you need it? Like I said, it's a gray Toyota sedan. Do you rush back inside after that, or is there anything else you want to do?
As soon as he goes, I'm going to turn around and come back in, and I'll sort of do a walk by the other nurse and make sure she's doing okay with her patient.
Mm-hmm. Well, she's in the back in the lab.
Okay. Well, then I'll go back out front then.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So you return to everybody sort of still inside, kind of now semi-impatiently waiting.
Some people just don't have any damn manners.
Yeah, they let their customers wait in the lobby and other people skip line.
Look, it doesn't take that long to do all this kind of work.
Why is it taking so long?
I don't know.
Check on it then. Check on it.
Fine.
We're
fine. I will leave you here to your own, and I'm just gonna walk back into the back.
It's funny. It's almost as if on cue, you walk and the door actually opens for you. And it is the other nurse, Jolene, and she says, "Oh, so sorry about that. We can take Mr. Krennic now. Again, so much apologies for running late. I promise you this is not usually how we run things. Which for those of you who've been here before is correct."
Where'd your patient go?
What? Oh, she already left. She went out the back.
Oh, is the car still out front?
You see that the car is now moved. In fact, you probably would have noticed as you came back in, right when you were kind of closing the door and walking into the hallway, you saw the vehicle starting to move. Mr. Krennic, kind of gets up and he sort of, gets up out of his wheel. She helps him up out of his wheelchair, and he sort of, slowly sort of shambles back into the, lab area. He kind of complains a little bit, but, sort of gripes. And he's like, oh, thank God it's cold in here. I got to get this done so I can go get me some eggs at that Extravaganza, which is probably the name of the diner that he was talking about earlier. And so he is taken back things sort of, go back to sort of, normal, their sort of little pace. Is there any other chatter, or is everyone just sort of, going to sort of wait for their appointment impatiently?
Maybe it wasn't her. I checked her Instagram and her last tag was in Hollywood. It didn't say anything about coming to Ohio.
Oh, sure. But they got people for that, you get your assistants and whatnot when you're in the celebrity and whatnot.
Well, just in case, I'm going to take a selfie and tag myself at the lab. Just saw London Sinclair.
Yeah, and it's funny, as you're looking around, you do see, the last post that she made for her cat's Instagram, was 2 days ago in Hollywood. But yes, of course, her cat Fang has its own Instagram. But yeah, it is. It's then. It's actually just a few minutes after that when you all hear a harsh scream, like a man screaming at the top of his lungs, and you hear some sort of commotion coming from back in the lab.
I stand up. Something. Should we go back? Hold on, I'll check.
Yeah.
Is the door openable from this side?
It is. You can't open it. So as you go up and open the door, is it just are you the one? Is it just you looking in, or are other people going to look in as well?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to look in because this is not normal.
Staying back.
I'm staying.
Somebody's afraid of the needle.
Oh, I want to look because I'm curious as hell, and this is great entertainment.
All right,
I'm
so
gonna kind of push Greg.
Phone. Video it on your phone. We can see.
Well, I'll go with Nancy because I can protect her. I've been back here many times anyway.
Yeah, but I'm like holding Chuck back, and I'm like, no, Chuck, this is HIPAA. You have to stay out here.
You got a HIPAA back there? Shit.
I love that. Yeah. So as you all rush up and open the door, those of you who are looking in, this is unfortunately the kind of the first thing that your eyes catch inside.
Oh my God.
Oh, what is that?
And you see, as unfortunately, Mr. Krennic, his head is decapitated, but he is actually still like mumbling and screaming. And it seems that poor Jolene has had the syringe jabbed through her eye into the brain, and the rest of Dr. Krennic's body is these parts that have sort of exploded all over the room, these pieces, and they are starting to animate and move. And as you all are sort of looking at them in horror, they start crawling towards you. And that is when we're going to cut back to the investigators, or to the agents rather, who are the agents who are investigators. So you are all driving over. From what you understand, there has been an incident, a violent incident at this quick lab in Cleveland, and you are racing to get there, hoping to pose as sort of a joint a joint they call them anti-terrorism like task forces, but they also use them for this case. It would be like FBI, CDC, Homeland Security, and so you're sort of masquerading as that team and doing this very quickly because in a few hours the actual joint task force of the CDC and the Homeland Security and the FBI are going to probably investigate this. Luckily, however, the one of the cops that was there is actually a friendly. And so they were able to tap you a Keith Richards. He was able to sort of tap let ACEL know, so they let you know through your hand most recently. So you are all racing up there. So this is just a little bit after that. It's about 8 o'clock when you are all racing up there, and you see that there is one police car parked outside.
Well, I had a most delicious breakfast over at Blair's this morning. They had some specialty kind of sausage. It was delicious. Was that the place there? There's already cops here? Shit.
Might be a friendly.
Oh. Maybe this Mr. Keith.
Yes. You're hoping that it seems like there's just Keith for now, but you have to go very quickly because in a few hours everybody else will arrive. But, luckily this is a quarantine site, so police are being urged to stay away.
Okay, let's get down to it.
Yep.
I could use some of that coffee.
Weaponry? I'll get some in the back trunk.
What's everybody armed with? Yeah.
Yeah. What's her cover again?
FBI, right? Or
going as FBI?
It's our usual
I'll be
cover.
with Homeland Security.
Yeah.
Making sure we didn't need to jump into hazmat suits or something.
I could do CDC. I mean, I'm a doctor. Make it work.
The police are here. There's like no need to shoot anybody.
Oh, you don't know that. We have no idea what we're going into.
Prada,
Yeah,
I
I'm
thought
grabbing
you've
my
been
shotgun.
doing this for a while now.
Yeah, I'm going to grab my MP5.
Okay, awesome.
Heads on a swivel, stay frosty, okay?
Yeah, what is everybody
leaving
else
the gun
armed
behind.
with?
I could just have my regular.
Yeah, I have my Betsy, my trusty 357 is under my jacket, and I've got a little stub nose 38 in my shoe.
All right, awesome.
A knife and some flashbangs.
Yes.
Agent Pond has his usual holstered gun, ankle gun, and he will grab the shotgun and load in some slugs for this one, I think.
Yeah, as you're all sort of getting ready and loading up and making passing the cruiser on the way, and it seems it's just parked. It seems that the one police officer isn't inside. You assume. All right. So let me roll real quick. Yeah, is there anything else that you wanted to do before you go inside?
Do the people who were inside a few moments ago,
yes.
Are they outside or are they still inside?
You're not sure. You do not see. They're not staying outside, but you don't know if they've left or not.
Okay.
Any cameras?
How many people?
Yeah.
There are cameras outside in the parking lot.
Maybe we can recover the security footage.
Let's see what happened first.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm assuming we know nothing. So let's go.
All right, and then. So yeah, as you enter, it is a kind of a eerily quiet. You step into the sort of like main lobby and sort of hallway that leads into the different labs, and everything seems kind of normal here. However, you kind of like walk in and sort of turn to, where the hallway down into where the door into the lab is. And you see there's actually the police officer. He's standing there and he looks very frantic. And he's like, he's got some sort of he's got like the couch from the that end of the the facility propped up against the door, like barricading it. And as you come around the corner, you also notice standing there with him a little bit away from the door, kind of like crouched and sort of cowering, is our pregnant woman from before and the nurse. And it's just the two of them with the police officer, and he's just sort of consoling them as you sort of approach. He's like, stay down, backup's on the way here, and they're like, but what about the others? And he's like, I don't know about them.
I mean, backup's here.
Oh my God! Oh, are you the team that's supposed to be here? From the government? He seems very nervous, like he has just seen something that has rattled his chain. You also notice that you don't see any sign of his partner, which you imagine he would have, having arrived as the one person. He probably had a partner on this patrol in Cleveland.
Can you give us an assessment of what's happened here?
It's like I don't know. There's this thing, this guy, it's something happened to him, and there's these things that they got Lenny. He's like, I tried to, there was just too many of them. I shot at them, but there was too many of them. I couldn't. They got Lenny. I think they got some of the other people. I don't know if anybody escaped out the back or anything, but I had to barricade the door so that they would stay in there. That they flooded out into the lobby.
Okay, can you describe what it is you saw?
It was like moving flesh. And I actually did have an interesting idea. We can do this either as part of now or after you assess the scene. But I was thinking, since we have the two of you here, if you want, the other three of you could investigate the two characters you played earlier, and you two could play them and sort of recount what you saw to them, if you'd like.
Okay.
So if you wanted to do like a sort of interview, you could, you can do that either now, or you can do that after you take a look at the scene.
We need to secure this area.
Secure the area first.
Like you said, there was a back door.
He's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure there's a back door to this place, and the nurse, she nods,
All
right, well, don't let these two leave. They're witnesses, and
yeah, I'm going right now. I'm gonna go check out that back door.
All right, let me get the battering ram in the trunk, and I can come with you, cover you.
Sounds good.
Yeah, always at least two. Well, I'd like you're being a bit incoherent. You're probably obviously upset, but I need a better assessment. Ladies, were you also witnesses?
Yeah.
What did you see? Explain to me what happened this morning.
I mean, I came in just to get some routine blood work. And we were all kind of waiting for a little while. And then this woman came in with this man and this woman came through, and they were allowed to just cut the line and go all the way back. And I think that woman was London Sinclair. We all kind of agreed she looked just like her.
London Sinclair, the
actress. Yeah. Like, what is she doing in Ohio? I don't know. But, and then this man came in, and he was acting strange. I don't know. This woman here, she went after him. Maybe you can tell him more about that. I don't know.
Yeah. It's this guy comes in the back door, and he comes up through the hallway and out into the front lobby here and says, "Oh, I'm sorry. I'm in the wrong office." And then he shuts the door and walks away. So I follow him and I call out to him, and he just says, "Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean anything. And he just walks out the door, and I follow him again, and he drove away in a gray Toyota sedan. Now, I did write down the license plate number, but I don't know who this guy was. I don't know where he came from or why he was here.
Did you see anything unusual as you were walking up and down the hallway?
I didn't really pay attention. I mean, it's the same hallway I've been working in for the last few years. I didn't really notice anything different.
You returned then to the waiting room?
Yeah, after he drove off, I went back up front to deal with these folks.
And then what happened?
And then we heard some scream. Well, what we heard was the nurse that was in the back, she came out and called for another patient. And I said, well, where did the other patients go that you had in London Sinclair, we think? And the nurse says, oh, she left out the back. So this older gentleman was taken back. And then we heard him screaming. So we open up the door, and there's just pieces of him everywhere.
It was
as if he'd exploded.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, the cop's like, yeah, it's like as if he exploded.
It's like his head was just there. It was it was awful.
Then why are you barricading the door? Is there anybody still back there?
That's the crazy thing. It was not still. It was moving.
So I got here, and I ran in. The two of them were in the the lobby here. I told them to sit put. Luckily I came very fast. I was just down the road. And so me and Lenny we run in, and there's these things. I hear this. I thought this head was talking to me. I don't know if it was the shock or if he was still talking. This head and these parts, they were attacking people, and they had ripped these two people apart, and they were going for another one, and Lenny tried to save him, and then they went for him, and I tried to save Lenny, but I had to make sure that they, that they didn't get out, and hurt these two, and he kind of has a little bit of a thing, and he has to catch his breath. And he routinely checks back, like looks in the through the door, like the
would
little.
Would the three of you relocate out to the parking lot?
Yeah. I think the man with the neck brace, I think he was taking video. I don't know where he went, but you might want to see if you can see what he got.
All right.
Oh, he was in there.
Oh, well, never mind then.
Matilda and Bill, I'm going to run around the other side of the building and tell the agents. Just learned.
Alert them, and I'll escort these people out.
Yeah. So I'm going to run around, and before they go in, I'm going to catch up to them and say, we have a related problem. Apparently, Miss London Sinclair was here, and we have somebody who's exploded. Perhaps a couple of people who've exploded. And,
I think she's in charge. She's the cause of this.
Well, we got the boyfriend that exploded.
She's some kind of wizard.
I don't know, but you recall in the original case, it said that some of the body parts had moved around. These people say that the body parts were actually still alive and moving around and attacking after she had left. So I'm just telling you that's to be careful before you go in there.
Thank you.
We're getting the others out of the building.
All right, Pawn, you've got you've got the
got a shotgun.
Yep.
We need some gasoline.
It's good that you brought the RAM, because the door actually is locked back here. So
all right.
This back entrance is locked.
Help me with this battering ram on 3, okay?
Well, before we go, what's the game plan? We
clear
go in
rooms.
there, we shoot whatever. We already know if you blow it up, it still moves.
Yep.
So whenever you blow it up, make sure there's enough, like the pieces got to be small enough.
Shoot it till it stops moving. Got it. All right. So on 3.
Yeah, with the battering ram, we're easily able to get the door battered open. And as you're entering, you immediately you can smell, even from like the next room over, sort of in this back hallway, this like little delivery hallway, this stench, and you can hear the sort of cries, and you hear like these sort of muffled cries, unfortunately, die out. And you can see as you approach the door that leads into the lab from the sort of back, sort of like I said, the delivery and sort of maintenance access. The glass part of the two double doors, there is blood that has splattered it, and you can definitely tell that something, whatever has happened is in there, and probably like you said, as you heard earlier, it's probably spread from the lab into the main room. That's why they're sort of barricading the main sort of building from the rest of the lab.
Prada, you got a grenade? Stun grenade?
No, I've got flashbangs. They won't do much of anything. We could
as long as it's got eyes.
What we need is a flamethrower.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and give you that. Prada, you do have enough unnatural to know that a flashbang is probably not going to do anything against that, whatever that is.
It's not going to do anything. But if we had like a small flamethrower, we didn't come prepared for this.
No. Prada, do you remember Agent Patch had a theory with the blood clots?
I don't
do you remember the creature, the Beatrice, her blood, it clotted fast, very fast.
So it could be very self-healing.
It could be self-healing. It blunt hits work well, so we might want to keep that battering rams. But also, I don't know chemically, but she had a theory, if you remember a week ago, that we might be able to do something to their blood. I'm just thinking this is a lab. We've got equipment.
There's also going to be plenty of alcohol in here.
Good point.
We want to burn something.
Yeah, let's look around, fashion some Molotovs. But that would destroy the scene.
Go ahead and give me a luck roll to see what is back here in this little hallway.
I got a 62. Wait, what's
unfortunately, luck is 50-50. Yeah, right. It's a true coin flip. So yes, unfortunately, there's nothing really that has been left in this, back hallway. There might be things in the lab, but that presents its own sort of, issue of, that is likely where this vector, this threat is still. Either the main the quick lab lobby, or both, from the sounds of it, from what you've heard from the police.
I'm going to look really quickly because as we've have we broken open the door yet?
Yes. So they broke into the back little delivery hallway. So it's just the doors into the actual back entrance into the lab itself from this hallway that they haven't gone through yet.
If there's a fire extinguisher,
there is. Yeah.
Is it a CO2 or is it a chemical fire extinguisher? One is cold and the other is just foam.
CO2.
Okay, so cold. I'll grab it anyway because it's a big blunt instrument if I need it. But the other is I can see if cold has any effect on whatever it is coming at us. Oh, blob.
So my understanding is we kind of have the main area and the lab area off of this delivery. Yep. And we can clearly see that both have been gotten to by whatever this is. Is that correct?
Oh, well, sorry. So you can access back into, so there's basically there's the quick lab and then there's the rest of the building. And so the police, he barricaded the one side. So the other way would be through the back entrance from the lab. You can access you can go back to the main building and, go talk to him from here by going through the maintenance hallway and opening it from back here. But you can like I said, you can also go through there, but you can't get to the lobby for the quick lab from here, if that makes any sense.
If we look at the ground, because if this is like Prada had said, they had kind of exploded. Does it look like something bloody has dragged its way out of the quick lab, or does it seem contained?
It seems like it has been somewhat contained because there's the metal door back here, and then Richards, Officer Richards, the friendly, has barricaded himself, against the other door.
Proceed forward with caution. Be ready to run back.
Yes.
We'll keep our distance.
And make sure that there's no rooms on the side where it can get around us.
Right.
I'll do a clean sweep. All right. You lead the way, Pawn. I'll cover your flank.
I'll cover the back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess this is a nice little, moment where the, Paragon and Pawn have to sort of instruct Prada where to stand in a stack, in a proper breaching stack, He obviously doesn't have as much experience. And so you go through the motions. You're on the sides of the door, and you're able to easily get it open. This one isn't locked, and you open, and you immediately you see blood, carnage, gore. You need to make a SAN roll, but first I figured I can show you. You obviously see what I described before. You see the head. It's not moving anymore. You see the poor Nurse Jolene with the syringe out of her eye, and you also see, as I said, a number of the exploded body parts of poor Mr. Krennic that are now animated and moving. And in addition, there is also a few more heads. There are these, you see 3 in the lab room right now. It seems that some of them were sort of like moving around and sort of like skittering, sort of, kind of like looking for something. And you see these 3 horrific creatures. One of them is, like I said, there's this head with these weird, arms and limbs growing out of it. Another, is these chunks of flesh that are like these blobby, disgusting worms. And there are these 3 of these things. And when the door opens, they immediately turn to you all. All right, what is everyone's dex?
75.
Cool. So yes, I like that. So obviously it'll be Paragon.
60.
60 as well.
Sure. Awesome. All right, so Paragon, you are up first. You see these things, like the head one. See, this seems to be probably the head of the woman that was with Mr. Krennic is animated, skittering towards you. The worm is going for Pawn, and then the other one that looks kind of like this weird sort of like maybe like a starfish of flesh, is going for towards Prada.
And they have eyes.
Yes, it seems like some of them have
now.
Eyes from the heads. Yes.
Hand it over. All right. Yeah. He throws the flashbang in. I close the door.
All right. Go ahead and do me a luck roll.
18.
All right, yeah, and so it's a mixed result. It seems to disorient the ones with eyes a little bit. The other 2 seem to just sort of be trying to catch up to it. But the one with eyes is sort of blocking their way just a little bit, and so they have to try to go around it, which is enough time for you to close get the door real quick and shut.
All right. Well, they're stunned, or at least blinded. The one with eyes. Jesus Christ. And then I'm assuming we're rolling SAN, right?
Yes. Yeah, we can go ahead and do the SAN roll before we go, on here. So this will be, if you have adaptation to violence, then you can go ahead and just do me a sanity roll for 1 versus 1d6. And then if you don't have an adaptation to violence, it's actually 1 to 1d10 from violence and the unnatural.
If we fail.
So if you fail and you do not have adaptation to violence, it's a D10 for seeing all of the 3 of these disgusting things. And
7.
All right. Are you going to project? Or would you like to fight, flight, or freeze?
I think all I can think of at the moment, if we're going to sort of partly project this into the real world, is that's the fucking thing from that movie. The thing.
Okay.
We need to burn the fucking building to the ground. I'm going to immediately run around looking for any kind of solvent or cleaning fluid or anything.
So are you going to project then, or take the full 7?
I'll take the full 7.
All right, and you're going to choose to fight. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, you want to destroy these things with fire, like just like the end of the thing. All right. So it seems that that Prada is actually going to, like, he's starting to move to, look for anything, he can use. So go ahead and do me another luck roll.
88.
Yikes. So unfortunately there's things back here, but they're not flammable. There's sanitary cloths, there's saline, solution, there's some things in boxes that just got delivered, but unfortunately nothing that can create fire.
I can't find anything.
What would you do, I guess, in this case, if you couldn't find something but you felt the urge to fight? What would be your next idea, I guess?
Then it would be to get everyone out of the building.
So it's sort of, transition into a flight if you can't
or I'm really trying to fight it from the outside. We need to get people out of the building and then destroy the building somehow.
Okay.
We can contain it in the building.
Right. So you're sort of, frantic, you're searching around. What are the other two doing? Especially Pawn, it would be, sort of your move, but we kind of close the door on the threat there.
Okay. The door closed, heard the grenade go off, right?
Yeah.
All right. Is Prada, they are not in the room with us at the moment, right?
They're just sort of, they're back in the hallway, so you could easily, run to them, but
okay.
Yeah. So they were searching, sort of, all around for something.
Right. He's going to take a step back and aim his shotgun at the door while he's basically shouting it. Prada, get yourself together.
We've got to eliminate this thing now before it infects everyone on the planet.
We will.
Agreed.
Right. And meanwhile, we'll jump back to Patch and Parsnip real quick here with the others. You do hear the flashbang go off, Officer Richards also pointed out, like, what was that? Was that your boys?
Yep, that was all our team. Detective, I don't want you to even worry about any of this right now. I would like for you to go home, take a nice hot bath, and put this out of your mind.
Right.
Here's my number. I would love for you to call me if you have any other ideas about or remember any other details.
Okay, so so I guess you'll, but
here's what we're gonna do. You work for the Cleveland PD, right?
Yeah. So what do I tell them?
The United States government is going to give a call to the Cleveland PD, commend you for your superior service in this harrowing moment and your protection of the civilians involved. Your partner, who unfortunately died in the line of fire, will be awarded an honor for his sacrifice, and you will be honored as well for everything that you have done.
All right. And what do I say when they ask me about this, though?
You will say that there was I'm trying to think of the word. I'm sorry. Not me. Padge knows the word. I'm not thinking of the word. You'll say that there was an intruder, that there was an unidentified celebrity who entered into the clinic for a routine medical procedure. A stalker entered the facility in an attempt to attack this woman, and there was a firefight. You bravely protected the civilians. Your partner was lost in the line of fire tragically, but in a heroic sacrifice.
All right. Okay. All right. Okay. That's what I'll put in my report. All right. Got it.
Excellent.
I guess, what do I,
we will clean up the mess.
Okay.
You won't have to worry about anything else.
So should I tell I guess I'll just tell dispatch that y'all sent me home.
Tell dispatch.
Do I need to get tested or nope, am I good?
You're perfectly fine. Tell dispatch that government agents, the Joint Task Force, came in and relieved you of duty, and they will be reporting to your superiors what happened at the scene, and that you have been sent for a few days of rest and leave.
Okay. I don't know. They might not like that, but all right, sure. Yeah. Okay. I appreciate it. just you make sure everyone's all right until the teams get here, because they're probably gonna have to kind of like he's kind of leans closer to you. They're probably gonna have to quarantine. So
absolutely,
I don't know.
You are thinking very, very smartly, Detective. Again, that is why you are to be commended for your service. You are a quick thinker. Excellent.
Sure. He's kind of like in a mix of emotions. He goes, he kind of scratches his head and heads out. And he goes ahead and leaves. The other two look a little concerned. But at least that there's other people here responding to it, so they're at least relieved that the backup is here.
Yeah, and I'll ask them to also leave the area. Here's my phone number. Give me a call if you think of anything else that you suddenly remember. We'll be in contact.
And then, Parsnip, is there anything? Did you want to look into the flashbang going off, or are you just going to wait for the others and help out with Patch?
Yeah, I did want to actually get the contact information for the two witnesses there. So I was doing that while the folks were in the back.
You got their basic info, their phone numbers, everything they would give, police, that kind of thing.
Yeah. But I'm basically here just going to be support for whatever happens.
Oh, and you can make note also that you do that the nurse did mention to you all about the man, and you do have his plate number.
Yep. I write all that down.
Awesome. So we jump back. All right. So we go back to, again, it's Paragon at the top of your turn, because it sounds like Pawn wants to get back in there. So Paragon, what would you like to do? Pawn is getting ready, and you hear Prada sort of screaming that you've got to get everyone out of the building, sort of frantically.
I got your back, Pawn. So
right.
If we're gonna kick open the door, we're gonna just try and gun down everything in there.
Do it. The flashbang's effects won't last forever.
Yep. All right. I boot to the door, kick it open.
Yep. And you do. You see those three things still ready and kicking. The one that has the eyes still kind of like a little startled, moving around, kind of like back and forth a little bit. The other two, however, look like they're ready to come at you. They don't seem to have eye parts on these ones specifically.
All right. So I'm gonna just say, I get left, you get right, and we're shooting the ones that aren't stunned.
Awesome. Yeah, so you can go ahead and make firearms rolls with your weapons. Don't forget, Pawn, you can add a +20 for aiming.
22.
Oh, wow. All right. Yeah, so go ahead and you can go ahead and roll damage and add that to max.
And I rolled a 63 out of 90 and rolled 10 damage.
Awesome.
19 damage.
Nice.
Wow. Yeah, so and then that's with the MP5, your single fire, I assume, or
can I use? Yeah, it's single.
Yeah,
we're doing controlled.
Yeah, so you fire off a round, and you put one straight through this worm thing, and it cuts through it, and it's a very good shot. And this thing sort of splatters as you sort of exploded this flesh even further. And Pawn, your shot also strikes true. You hit this sort of starfish thing and kind of take out most of it. However, there is like a little bit of it left, like it's sort of barely dragging part of itself still on, like it's just barely kicking. And then there is the eye one that is now sort of following the remnants of its buddy, towards you all. So Prada, you've sort of been frantic. What would you want to do now? The
second they start firing, I'm exiting the building and running around to find Patch and Parsnip to tell them what's going on and see if we can siphon some gasoline or something from the car. So I'm running around the building.
Sure. So you will get there, next turn, as you're sort of running around. All right. So we go back to Paragon. It seems that, or rather, looks like the thing did not like that you blasted one of its friends, and so you happen to be the one of the two that it's going for. And so this thing with the eyeballs is going to try and basically kind of like run up on you and start scraping at you with its many little tendrils and little claws and stuff. And sort of this weird sort of flailing and strangling and biting, with trying to use these disgusting exploded parts to do whatever it can to hurt you. So it's coming up, probably grabbing at your leg to start. However, you would be able to. However, you don't need to because this thing makes a jump for your leg, and you don't even really dodge. You just sort of like take a step, sort of naturally, and it kind of just misses you and kind of is starting to sort of readjust and try to go after you. And then Smith, the remains of the starfish are sort of weakly trying to grab on and sort of flail against you and just sort of hit you. But again, no, this poor remaining, flesh limb is kind of like slapping at your leg sort of ineffectually. And it doesn't seem to be quite working. All right. So it goes back to your turns. We start with Paragon. You have your full turn since you didn't have to dodge or fight back.
All right. The thing that just tried to attack me, click full auto.
All right. Go ahead, yeah. So go ahead and do a firearms roll, and you can go ahead and add a +20 from close proximity.
Okay, I passed.
Awesome. So now go ahead and roll me the same dice for your lethality roll. Everyone's favorite.
I rolled 12 damage.
Awesome. Yeah. Because what numbers did you get?
66. And that's
nice.
Above 10%.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah, of course. So 12 damage is more than enough. You pepper this thing with holes until, the eyeballs have exploded, the little parts of the face have, been pocked, and this thing, falls and, it's in pieces now. It is hunks of flesh, the remnants of remnants. So these things seem to be taken out. You easily, the two of you kind of stomp on the remaining little limb from the other one. However, you do hear more skittering and sort of the strange squelching of like fleshy bits. Like you see some sort of like almost like a snake made of exploded intestine bits. And again, like these two more coming around the corner. As you see, there's 3 more of these pieces that are coming from the lobby now into the back of the lab.
Okay, we got to make distance. Want to double time book it, create distance, set up a firing ring?
You go ahead. I'm going to do a slow retreat firing.
Okay.
All right, so Paragon's going to go back to where you sort of entered the building and sort of set up to wait.
Set up in the hallway, yeah.
Awesome. Yep. Yeah, so you can effectively be, have the benefit from aiming. And then Pawn, you can go ahead and do a firearms roll with a -20 as you are firing and also, making your escape. Or sort of following after him.
Are they close enough at this point? Because he's got a shotgun. He's trying to keep him.
Yeah.
Okay.
They are still close enough. Let me see here.
Does that give him the boost, basically, the +20?
They would not be close enough for the +20, but you are close enough that they're still going to do damage. They'll still do full damage.
Okay. Then if he's taken the -20, that is a failure. 53 out of 50.
All right. Yeah. Unfortunately, you're more concerned with getting back and not getting these three things on top of you at once. And so you sort of come back, and they seem to be coming towards the firing cordon. Meanwhile, we'll jump real quick. So Prada, you have made it up to the others. Very, very out of breath.
Have you ever seen the John Carpenter film in 1982, The Thing?
And he's wide-eyed. He definitely looks like he's in the middle of an episode. Like he's not all there. We need to find some way to burn this whole building, I think, to make sure there's none of that left. The guys are attacking it, but
I'm not so sure. And as we're running and talking at the same time, I'm not so sure, Pata. If you remember the CDC report of that teenage boy that died, it said that eventually everything stopped moving. The crime scene was tampered with, but that was it.
But they just saw body parts that had moved. In this case, there are heads with tentacles and eyeballs and things on spider legs running around, and starfish and worms.
Okay, let's go.
All right, so you all rush to go join the others. Meanwhile, Paragon and Pawn, you saw Pawn, you sort of run up and join Paragon there at your little cordon at the back entrance, and then behind you, coming around the corner are these disgusting 3 things. Like I said, there's the sort of one that looks kind of like like the snake of exploded intestines. There's another one that looks like just sort of like a mound of different parts that are sort of unrecognizable, maybe like I said, bits of flesh that have been exploded. And it kind of looks like I said, this sort of like a blob with like 3 arms and sort of limps on along its way. And then, the last one is again kind of like a more of like a not a spider, but like just this weird sort of like bug, kind of like a thing that's like, there's bits of exploded bone that are being held together by little, ligaments and long parts of the muscle. Very, very grotesque. And so, and so you can go ahead and make your shots now. Again, don't forget the bonus Paragon.
So did Agent Prada drop the fire extinguisher? Because if it was pressurized, I want to shoot it.
I probably did. Yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna line it up until they pass near the pressurized fire extinguisher and shoot it.
Awesome. Yeah, go ahead and do a firearms with the +20.
The +20 saved me.
All right, there you go. It's good that you got set up and you were just kind of waiting for this. All right, go ahead and do another lethality roll. This time for the explosion of the fire extinguisher as they're coming after it.
What's the lethality of exploding?
We'll call this 15.
15? Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Well, I deal 13 damage.
Awesome. So the first one, you just like this thing is taken out by the pressure and the blast. We'll say it's the sort of the bone that was kind of like the blob with 3 arms that was kind of living around, and that one gets exploded. You see that a lot, like half of this like flesh, like this disgusting like sort of a intestine snake, the back end is sort of ripped apart, the rest sort of still kind of trucks on, and then the other one also is like partially ripped apart, but it's still kind of barely just sort of trying to skitter forward. Pawn, what would you like to do?
Well, my shot did not happen. Perhaps the explosion set him off a little bit. It went a little wide. Yeah.
Makes sense. You're like, all right, just gotta, it's a lot going on. And so it seems that like the explosion took out the first one, and the other two that's kind of like luckily for them that the other the other one took the brunt of the blast for them, but they are obviously not in good sorts, and they're continuing towards you. Meanwhile, the others are sort of you can hear them sort of shouting as they are on the way, and so that it sounds like the others are going to be arriving in just a moment. It looks like these things are going to attempt to still kind of move forward and attack you. What would you both like to do?
Dodge.
Just fire.
All right, go ahead and do a firearms pawn, and then you can do a dodge Paragon.
That's more like it.
Rolling hot tonight. I got a 30 out of 60.
Nice.
And that is good. Because they got a 6. So this thing jumps at you, and you feel like it totally would have grabbed you. Like had you tried to shoot at it, even if you shot it definitely would have gotten a hit on you as well. But so you're able to jump out of the way. Smith, however, you have a sort of that exact situation I just described, where you do make a shot. However, this thing does manage to get a hit off on you. So go ahead and what was your damage?
I rolled an 11.
Yes, that is more than enough to finish this thing off. However, this thing is also going to be scraping at your leg, and this thing does 4 damage as it sort of scrapes, with its like weird sort of carapace, like little bits of, like I said, bone connected by exploded like ligament, scrapes at you as you blast this thing apart. And the part that scraped at you is not even connected to anything anymore by the time that it's all sort of sorted. And so, there are disgusting sort of bits of stuff all over here, sort of barely contained at the exit right here. And that's when the others sort of run up and catch this sort of sight. And for those of you who haven't rolled against the pieces, you can do a sanity roll now. It'll be just a 1d4 for the remnants, the remnants of the remnants.
Yeah, that's a fail. So
Failure.
D4. Just 1 though. That's good.
Oh, geez, 4.
There was also, we have a question about breaking point. Yeah, it is your max minus power is where your breaking point is. And that's when you would develop you would replace a motivation with a derangement. So yeah, do let me know if you go over at that point. All right. So you all have run up. It's finally. It looks like all of the creatures, these disgusting pieces of Dr. Krennic and maybe some of the others. You're not quite sure. These disgusting things. They have finally seem to have all been killed. And so it seems calm. However, you do know that you are on a ticking clock for when the real team gets here.
All right. First of all, that was badass, Pawn. High five.
You're
going to be okay.
Kind of wincing. Yeah, 1 second, and he's just racking up the shotgun and going into the building to blow apart the head and whatnot that we saw before. He's basically going to make mulch out of the pieces.
If they're drawing blood here, they've got to have something like alcohol to sterilize.
Oh, yeah. Now that you can get inside the lab, they have alcohol. They've got CO2 canisters, they have different things, they would use in different medical devices. There's some emergency equipment, most things you would find in a lab and medical facility.
Every bit of that blood and flesh might be infected with something. You need to douse everything.
Well, hopefully it's not that infectious. Otherwise, I'm cut to ribbons.
Well, we're going to watch you like a hawk.
I'm going to go recover the tapes. I'm going to head towards the security office. There were cameras.
We need to know who originally killed these people as he puts a shotgun blast through the old guy's head.
Yeah, and you make work of the remaining remnants and the little unfortunate stuff that's left behind. So
do we need to collect that all into something?
I've got a collection kit. I've got all this field kit stuff. So I'll be collecting a few medical samples.
Well, is there enough stuff here that it's like 3 bodies worth? Or 4
more than that. It looks like the pieces were mostly looked like just like 1 or 2 bodies, but like the things that were animated. But this seems that they took out like 3 more people in addition to that.
Parsnip, do you want to come with me in order to recover the technology, the cameras? You're good at that.
Yeah, I also want to take a look around and see if I can find any cell phones that somebody made mention of. Someone took video.
Can you please do me a luck roll?
Okay. 78.
You do find the cell phone, and this doesn't mean necessarily that it's a dead lead, but unfortunately, it has been smashed. As it seems like in the hassle, it seems that while either by Lenny or by Chuck, while like one of them was getting attacked and the other tried to save them, it seems that the phone got thrown or smashed, and it is very much in pieces. The screen's shattered. You could still probably maybe access the card, but you'd have to bring it back and hook it up to a computer and everything. So
I'll take it anyway.
Yeah, you can make work. You can probably get something out of it, but not as easy as unfortunately just playing it. And so the rest. Then you said you wanted to go to the computer, correct? To check the cameras.
Yep, and remove it.
Yeah, so it seems that there is, like I said, there's the cameras that watch the front and back parking lots. There is the camera that watches the lobby and entrance from the main building into the quick lab. And then there's also a camera that is in the actual lab that is for, you mentioned, Patch can tell you like drug test screenings and certain things that require video evidence that the blood was taken from a specific person, or a certain thing was done. So that is actually the camera that gets you sort of what you're looking for. And so with this camera, you were able to see that you see this woman, London St. Clair, comes in, and she does, she gets a blood sample. And then one thing you notice is that while you determine that you can hear the arguing in the background while the woman, while this poor Jolene was arguing with the man, it seems that London, she actually took the phlebotomy needle that was used on her out of the sharps bucket, wiped it off, and then set it up where the new needle, like the needle for the next patient, is being stored. So it seems that there was some sort of switch made, and then you see Jolene come up, and she comes up and she brings Mr. Krennic in, and she goes over and turns the camera off.
So she set it up so that the second person would be infected with her blood.
Yeah. Her blood's bad. Bad news.
Yeah, rather specifically. Yes, that is exactly. Yeah, they took the needle and switched it.
She came in here specifically to do that. I don't think she was here for any other reason than to.
To what end? Did she know that Krennic was next?
Ohio, like just. I mean, the farm.
Is this some sort of weird? If she's related in some way to the farm people with the blood.
According to Wikipedia, she might be.
I mean, what if she's, I don't know, that she's trying to find out something. She did this to that boy, though, too, I bet you.
I thought that was a young woman that was, she had a different name.
Oh, I thought that was London.
Oh, no, what? You're right. It was.
Yeah.
You're right.
Hell of a way to break up.
You're right.
Well, if she's some sort of a mutant, and that might have been the first time she discovered that this happens when she is with someone. And now she's doing something.
Do you think it was a targeted attack?
I don't know. It seems like she's out here in the middle of nowhere. Maybe it was completely random just to see what would happen.
Remember, too, there's another element to this. Her boyfriend, the moon person, she's supposed to be married to some sort, and that might have to do why boyfriend number one exploded.
That's right.
It's possible she might be getting cold feet. She might be looking for a way out.
Maybe.
I don't know what this has to do with it.
If her blood causes almost instantaneous crazy mutations making people explode, she could infect a whole bunch of people.
I'm going to get back to throwing everything onto a pile.
We need to sterilize this place. It still might be easier to burn the place to the ground.
Now that makes me worried about blood banks. That's a huge risk.
And I will actually mention that I did want to double check. You double check your notes as well, and you see, yes, it was that you didn't know who the girlfriend who of the exploded boyfriend was, but then you found Dr. Kleck's patient notes in the office when you were looking, when you got when you critically succeeded the search check, and you found that he was treating London Sinclair, and she mentioned the event. So that was sort of the connecting bit there.
Grab everything here that we can continue to study, and let's light the place on fire.
Yep. Grab the hard drive for the videos so we don't leave any evidence behind. Do we want to torch this place?
Yeah, I'm going to put some bleach on wherever my blood went. Doctor, I'm going to need you to patch me up a little. I'm leaking.
Yep, I got you.
Doc, you have samples
in the car.
Yep, I got samples. If I could determine it was a different body, then I took a sample from it. That's a different body, but just a couple samples in general.
Be careful with all of that because, maybe a single cell might cause you to mutate, like in the thing.
It would appear, based on her psychologist notes and some other, just my hypothesis is that it's body fluid exchange that causes this. It's not necessarily just getting it on your skin. So for Khan's sake, I hope that is the case. Yeah. And all those people that we let go.
Right.
I wish I'd thought of this before I blew up most of the heads. If that syringe that was in the nurse came from London, if that was the right one, there might still be remnants of her blood in it.
Hopefully the fire.
I meant
neutralizes
more
it
for
all.
us if we
Yeah.
wanted a sample of it.
Yeah, I think the needle that's in the nurse's eye is the one that London, the one that was used on London.
We need that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll definitely take gloves everywhere. Everyone, you should all be wearing gloves here. Take
Hopefully
gloves.
we can do this in 5 minutes and then get the hell out of here, because you sent the policeman home, but I bet you they're going to be surrounding this place in a matter of minutes.
How much of a liability do you think that police officer is?
All three of them are a liability, but I didn't want them around any longer.
They're not going to have
About
any
to
idea
just
who
shoot
we
them in
are.
the
And,
parking
you know,
lot,
when he
yeah.
gets back, they have no way to find us. So
Are you going to let them go or keep them here?
they can.
I
Make
had
all the
already told
stories
them to
they
go
want.
home.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, the other two as well, though, or
I wanted them out of the
Okay.
scene. Yeah.
This is Richard's problem. He's with us. He knows what to do. He can clean this up.
We'll just become the mysterious weirdos that disappear.
That's right. The deputy or whoever he was a friendly. I had forgotten about that.
All right.
Good thing good thing his partner went and not him.
Well, Pond, we have a lot of shell casings to pick up.
Yep. Right there with you.
can everyone do me an alertness roll as you're all kind of cleaning up after the scene?
17.
Oh no, that's a 77.
I passed.
which I am. Yeah, that's a failure. It's a critical
78.
failure.
It's a
Yeah,
failure.
so-
Hard.
60 out of
Yes.
70.
Oh, That's
Patch
a
is too
critical
busy taking
failure.
samples, of course. But however, was it Prada that succeeded?
17. Yeah.
Yeah. You hear what sounds like a vehicle, like just a regular, like a sedan car, sort of frantically pulling up, like outside, and somebody like very quickly getting out.
I'm going to walk out and see who it is.
And there's a person, and they have it's just this guy, with like white dress shirt and like slacks. And he's got a camera, and he's like, is London Sinclair in there?
No, there's nobody in there. There's been an industrial accident. You need to leave.
An accident? No. Are you sure? The London Sinclair, she was tagged like here earlier.
There's no one here. London Sinclair is in Hollywood, I believe.
No. I know, but she was. Oh, damn it! All right. Are you sure? Are you sure that she's not here? And
I can't say anything. Get out of here. Leave.
Yeah, go ahead and do a persuade roll there.
88. I'm
He's like, wait a minute. And he kind of looks you up and he's like, wait, you want this? You want it all for yourself. You want the scoop all for yourself, don't you? You can't keep me from this. And he looks like he wants to go inside right now.
I am going to attempt something.
Okay.
I would like to see if I can cloud his memory.
Ooh, okay. I like this. So go ahead and do me your ritual activation roll. So go ahead and roll a D100, and then remind me what your current sanity is.
My current sanity is 50.
Okay, cool.
And I got a 16.
Wonderful. Awesome. So go ahead and please mark the costs, the willpower, roll and mark the willpower and sanity costs there. And then, how do you, that,
I've given him a very specific thing. I'm going to say, I want you to forget the reason why you came out here today.
Yeah. I
can't really command him, but I'm telling him to forget why he's here.
Yeah, and you sort of, you make the necessary, sort of gestures, and you do this ritual as you've read about. And indeed, as you say it, he kind of his eyes kind of go wide for a moment. And he kind of looks around. And he's like,
"The clinic's closed today. You'll need to."
Yeah, do I need a blood test? Oh, maybe I was looking at prices for my mom. She was telling me how she hates how much costs blood work these days.
No, you'll have to call them.
All right.
Have a nice day.
Hey, you're not, are you famous or something?
Not really. I've done some writing, but no. Have a nice day.
All right. Yeah, have a good one. He kind of kind of a little confusedly kind of sort of walks off. And after a few moments, he kind of, the confused look sort of, he kind of brushes it off and he gets back in his car, sets his camera down and starts driving away. Awesome.
I'll turn around and walk back inside. We need to go quick. That was paparazzi. I convinced
you took care of him
to leave. Yeah.
You okay?
Yeah, just the stress level right now.
All right,
me
yeah.
is...
Let's pack it in.
You two got rid of any continuing camera work, right?
Yeah.
Good.
And then there was talk of getting the syringe, right?
Yes, I can get in too.
Yeah, so you got the syringe, you've got some samples. What did you want to do with the rest of the scene? How did you want to sort of leave this one? Because like I said, you probably feel like you probably need to get out of here soon, unless you want to have to talk to explain why you shouldn't be included in the quarantine and why there's a duplicate joint task force here already that wasn't supposed to be here because they're the ones that are supposed to be here.
Agent Pond's been piling up what bits he can, like probably even if they were getting like bleach from there, just got a mop to push him towards the center. His theory is make a big pile, set it on fire, and if they go, wow, that spine's in a weird spot.
Go ahead and do me a search roll then to represent, sort of the group's efforts, since this is what you were focusing on during the time.
54 out of 53.
Just remember, if there's mysteries here, that's fine.
Yeah.
They'll spend years trying to explain what happened, but they won't know it was us.
I just don't want them to go, were they making The Thing 3?
There's no such thing as a thing too. What do you mean? Anyway, not in this universe. Anyway, so you were able to pile up the large bits. You get all the ones you can seem to find. So that plus for the samples, and then there was other people did some cleaning up. Was there anything else that you wanted to do before you all sort of skedaddled away from the scene, absconded?
Think of anything?
I think we've pretty much got everything we need for evidence.
I mean, I need a goddamn shower.
Yeah, we need to shower up.
Anyone who was exposed, I would like a blood sample from you all.
Okay.
I'll trade you for a little bit of first aid.
And Parsnip, you had the witnesses' account information, right? Or their contact information?
Yeah, I got their phone number, address, that kind of stuff.
I think we're going to contact them for blood samples as well.
Yeah, I was a bit concerned. We might want to keep tabs on them.
Oh, absolutely. And a wise decision.
Do we have a local place we are staying, or at least, on the other side of Cleveland?
No, but you did have I suppose you might have set something up last time, just like as a place you can go to. Right. I know you were operating out of a motel for the first one. It's probably just something like that. But yeah, so you got right. Yeah, one a little closer here. So you've got some evidence. You've got some leads, and you're able to escape from the scene. There was also the matter of taking the stuff from the one green box to the other that you can do as well. So those are all things that we can try to fit in here before we wrap up.
Maybe we can put that monkey to rest. Still on the.
Fuck, I had forgotten about that thing. Yeah, we need to get rid of that thing.
Yeah, there's got to be more to this story than what we know so far. We need to set up a home base and then.
I agree.
Yeah, get that monkey into a green box. That monkey into a cement coffin and then into a green box. All right.
Yeah. So, did you want to proceed to the to do the the green box transfer?
Yeah.
Awesome. So yeah, you find they managed to find this old location. It's a little bit of a weird one. It is actually a trailer that's attached to like a junkyard. It was sort of like somebody could rent it out to live here. But it's sort of on the little bit of the outside of just outside of Cleveland. And it seems that unfortunately whoever had like put an amazing amount of down payments, they just like paid in cash for like the next some odd years. It's starting to come up, and there might be some things aside. So you're that was the one that the agent from B Cell told you about. So you can take whatever's inside and potentially use some of it, and then the other stuff that's supposed to be there, you bring that to the new green box that you all were setting up here, and you can put the box and the sock monkey with it. So you approach, like I said, it's this trailer a little bit off of a junkyard. The owner is very happy. They're like, oh yeah, we're gonna have to auction it off or get rid of it. Throw it in the junkyard if no one was gonna come and claim it. Payment was getting right up. And so yeah, did you want to ask the owner any questions or just jump right into checking it out?
I don't think it's our concern if anyone's been out this way to the green box recently. That's I'm not worried about that. So
he's like, all right, well, yeah, y'all make yourselves at home. I'll be in my office. He says, for motioning to his trailer, the slightly nicer trailer. So he takes his little cup of coffee or booze or both or whatever it is and walks that way. So it's not the largest thing, but it's discreet. It's kind of out of the way. And you all you have the key that he provides you. You open up the padlock, and inside you find a number of things. And so we get to do one of my favorite parts of this game is green box time. So I'm going to go ahead and read out what these are, and then I'll go ahead and put the little list in the chat for you all. So the first thing you notice is that on one of the walls, like the back wall of the trailer, there's something written in big yellow cursive letters. It is Embitotos sed ineptum.
Embitotos?
Yes, here I'll put it in the chat. You also find there is a black bag, which you open up and find contains 14 50 round boxes of Winchester 9mm 115 grain silver tip hollow points. There is, interestingly, a hollowed out copy of the Warhammer 40,000 3rd edition rulebook. Inside, there is a bag of weed and waterproof matches. There is a black cape with a small label sewn onto the lining that says, "If found, please return to Wayne of stately Wayne Manor, Gotham City." There is a calvarium, the top and rear portion of a skull, which looks humanoid, but is unusually large and unusually shaped. And finally, there is a .357 revolver with a case of AA batteries that actually, when you look at it upon closer inspection, you pick it up and notice that it's been modified to hold AA batteries instead of normal rounds, strangely enough. So let me see if I can get these copied over.
We find a shotgun that uses D cells. Dibs.
And so these seem to be the contents of this old cowboy green box.
Well, let's get moving. Just got to get to the new place.
Which you can actually look, that this stuff seems like it's been here for a long time, because I can actually pull it up here. It seems like, because the Warhammer 3rd edition came out in 1998, so nobody's been to this green box for maybe 20 years or more. It would seem, or at least that's how far some of this stuff dates back. Does anybody happen to have, you can always Google, but does anybody happen to have Latin? So they would be able to know?
I've got a number of Latin languages, and I can see that
a doctor might.
Yeah.
It looks like ambitious,
but inept.
Yeah.
Correct. That is what it says. That's what it says.
Don't know what that means or why it's on the wall. Ambitious but inept.
Well, I hope it doesn't refer to us.
Ambitious but clumsy could also be.
That is true. Yeah, because Latin has different translations.
Yeah, the Batman cape. That's weird.
Well, I'm getting to work. I'm ignoring all this.
Yeah, let's not play with any of this shit.
Yep.
All right, yeah. So you're able to sort of load it up into your vehicles, start making your way over. Had you all ironed out where you wanted to set up that green box yet? The new one.
Let me work on that. I'll find
good man.
A storage facility.
Mm-hmm.
We've done that before, haven't we?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And are you going to transfer all of this, or is there anything you want to keep with you?
I think we want to transfer everything here. However, if there's, we've got some guns. I mean, some, you said Winchester rifles.
Yes. 9mm, yeah. 115 grain silver tip hollow points. So if you want bullets that have, silver tips and that are hollow points, yeah.
The battery gun looks really cool.
Paragon, you want to take a quick trip outside of. By the way, Doctor, would you mind?
Oh yeah, let me patch you two up and get blood samples from both of you.
Because Paragon, I'm with you. I'm intensely curious.
You want to draw straws to see who keeps it?
That's a 33. That's a critical success. What is it? Is it a full D4 or a full 4 points if you do first aid critical?
And you get a crit? Yes, that is correct.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the full 4.
Wow, you stitched
Paragon,
me up very well.
Did you need patching up as well or no?
Nah, it didn't touch me.
All right, and I'm still taking your blood.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yep.
Yeah, let's
boy, well, let's see if this damn thing even works. Obviously in a private, secluded place.
Right.
That thing's got to have like a hell of a kick. Well, I don't know. Actually, AA batteries aren't that big. Now that I think about it.
You coming along, Parsnip?
Oh yeah, I got to see this thing go off.
Well, who wants to fire it?
I'll do it.
Okay.
Oh, right.
What are you firing at?
Well, gun safety and everything. So I'm not going to shoot it at a person. I mean, we're in a junkyard, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to just pick like a junk car at a distance and shoot it. See what happens.
Sure. So you point this revolver at this car, and you pull the trigger, and for a second, nothing actually happens. But then, strangely enough, the round vanishes, and you see actually that it seems to have not shot anything at the car, but this squirrel skitters out of the car and sort of down and sort of runs, through the trash heap. And it seems like the round has disappeared, like it has been shot. But nothing seems to be happening. You do, however, notice that on the etched on the side of the barrel are the words "got your nerves" as well. But yeah, it doesn't seem to have done anything. But the bullet, the bullet is gone. Like the AA battery is gone, so it did something. And you get the idea that it wasn't the car that it didn't really work on the car, but it somehow did something to the squirrel. Like like you clicked it, and it was the squirrel that you saw that actually like fired. Like when the round actually disappeared. It didn't seem to do anything with the car.
The gun shoots squirrels?
It might just shoot fear. The squirrel ran. Got
your nerve. I don't know. You guys want to give it a shot? See if it does something different?
I found a place, Storage King, over on Lindale that we can use. $18 a month.
Yeah, let's get all this.
I'll pass. Let's get back to work.
Yeah.
Okay.
Parsnip, you gonna keep a hold of that for a bit? That might be handy. If your theory holds.
I like the sound of this thing. I'm gonna keep it.
I'm gonna go drive over there and set up the green box, and then we can bring the stuff over later.
Sounds good. I'll go get some concrete mix, that sort of stuff. Just kind of hoping we find some here, but I'll pick up
some paint or something. I want to paint over this Latin. Don't need to expose anyone to anything unnatural.
All right.
Good idea.
Snacks.
Yes.
I'll get some beef jerky.
You want me
Coffee,
to go buy?
please.
You want me to go buy Carl's Jr. or?
Yeah, burgers, sodas,
All right,
something.
I'll bring you
caffeine,
burgers.
Food, meat.
All right. So I'm going to do that. That way, when all the hell breaks loose, I'll be over there.
While they're never mind. I was going to say I was going to look at the blood samples, but I should do that in like a lab setting. So never mind. Sorry.
All right. Yeah. So yeah, you're able to, get some snacks. You're able to make the transfer. You take some blood samples. All that sort of goes smoothly. Yeah. So did it? Yeah. Nobody else wanted to try the battery gun. All right. Yeah. So what would everyone like to do now? It seems like you have successfully made the transfer. You've got some leads that you have.
I am going to analyze the samples and the blood samples from Pawn and Paragon and make sure they're not.
Yeah. You're getting the idea that luckily everything seems to be about normal. It seems that it's whatever happened to them wasn't enough to infect them the same way that Mr. Krennic or the poor James Chen, the boy.
I will be following up with the witnesses though and make sure that their blood also some cover story about infectious agents and test their blood, make sure that also checks out as well.
By spending some time looking at, you're not in a rush and you have a good medicine and biology score. So you're able to look and you actually put together that you think it has to do with direct fluid transfer because it seems like, some sort of sexual encounter that had happened the first time. This time it was a dirty needle was being used. And interestingly, so Mr. Krennic was the main, it was him that exploded and created all those things that then, eviscerated all these things. And it seems that, whatever happened in there that included Jolene getting stabbed in the eye, it seems that because she was killed, even though she had the same needle go into her eye, because she was killed, it didn't do anything. So it only seems to affect living things, and it has to be direct blood contact is what you've kind of gathered by this process of elimination.
That does bring up a good point because she did have a sex tape, and it was rumored to be like with her cousin. So that relation might mean immunity.
Right.
A bodyguard too, I think, isn't he?
Yeah.
I'd like to run that license plate number we got.
Yes. So you were able to use, your law enforcement systems, get into the database. You have access to all those things, just like Westlaw or, the other tracking databases. And so you were able to, it comes back about an hour or so later, as you're moving some of the stuff. But it seems to belong to a Frank Phelps, and he seems to, it's registered to him. And it seems that he obtained it. And the licensing is 2 years old. So this car, he's had the vehicle for 2 years.
Okay. I want to see if I can make any progress with that cell phone I found and see if I can get any video off that.
Yeah, luckily because you were able to salvage the remains and sort of get into the SIM card and access the phone where it had some stuff stored, you do find the video. It kind of gives you another sort of retelling of the event. You see these horrific pieces. They sort of are sort of almost like skittering and flooding out of the lab into the main lobby. It seems that like at first, Chuck wanted to film, but then there was like screaming, and so it seems like they started coming after him, and he tried to he was kind of actually focusing on filming them, and then he kind of realized too late that they were coming towards him. And it seems that somebody else, maybe this guy tried to shove him or like grab him to get him like out of there, and in that process is when the phone got slammed against the wall and just all the chaos, and that's where the video sort of cuts out.
Okay.
It does actually, it's kind of eerie though, because it does confirm that through the door you just get a little glance of poor Mr. Krennic's head, which strangely enough wasn't one of these pieces. His decapitated or exploded decapitated head was like still sort of like, hello, help, what's going on? Like it was like still talking and moving for a little bit immediately following what happened. And so it seemed like he wasn't immediately dead, even despite having exploded into pieces. That's pretty much, mostly what you get from the phone from that video.
When we get to London Sinclair, what are we doing with her?
Her out.
Why is she in Ohio, other than the family connection, I suppose? That must be it, right? The family connection?
Or she was targeting someone at the clinic.
Maybe this... Why would she be targeting a specific person, though? Like the old man?
A grudge? I want to see if there's a connection between those two.
Between Mr. Krennic and London Sinclair?
Yes, the person who went into the room afterwards.
No, it seems like Mr. Krennic, there doesn't seem to be any clear, perhaps, maybe he's a fan of like the old show, but there's nothing that would indicate like he doesn't have much social media and things like that, but he seems to be a regular guy, older man. He worked in he sold cars for a while. He's retired now, suffers thyroid issues, or suffered thyroid issues. It seems like there was no connection there. I mean, you do know, it seemed like from the video you saw that London was there for a drug and alcohol test, something that you would do and it was required to be filmed. So it was something for like legal or insurance purposes. It wasn't just something that, you can, I did it. And it's like, no, we need proof that it was you that did it. So it seems like she was there to give some sort of, blood sample for a drug test or something, but yeah. And that seems to be her reason for being there. Why she came all the way out to Ohio, obviously, perhaps you would first guess would be to avoid the paparazzi, but still it is kind of interesting going from Hollywood to Ohio. Although it does seem that from her posts that you were kind of looking through earlier, like with her cat, Twitter and stuff like that. Sometimes she posts from Texas, but she hasn't posted from Texas in a little while.
Well, our other lead was this Ferguson clinic.
Wasn't that in Texas?
It was in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Also, it appears we have her current cell phone number, at least at the time of the notes we had.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if we could track that.
The notes on her said she was a victim of a crime. I wonder what that was.
Yes. Do you still have the partial doctor notes that I gave you last time? Okay.
Yes.
Cool. Yeah. So I mean, as you're sort of brainstorming what to do next. What is everyone ideas for what their next moves are as we come to a close for tonight here? What we have planned for next time?
I'll secure the green box and then transfer the stuff that we don't want into the green box.
Mm-hmm.
I'll probably also get us a place to stay tonight.
Yep.
and fast food.
Yeah, you put the concreted strange star box with its accompanying sock monkey pal in the ream box, and you put the other stuff in there minus the few things you took, and you got yourself a little motel. Nothing too crazy, but it's actually not too dirty. But well maintained and well cleaned, and you got some local diner food.
Hey, I'm happy with no roaches in the shower.
Yeah,
and no smoking.
Yeah. So what avenues were y'all thinking of you would like to look at next to plan for next time?
Most simple, because I don't think it would take very much work, is to see if I'm assuming Prada shared with us that someone had tagged her on social media, and that's why the paparazzi was there. It's easy enough to search the tag of a celebrity and see if anyone else has tagged them. Maybe we might, if she's been seen, we might be able to at least know where she is. That's like hardly any work at all. So
also, where has she been recently? Yeah. And do we find any more cases of strange exploding people?
It seems, strangely enough, her posting has stopped over the last couple of days. Like I said,
has anyone else seen her and tagged her like the woman at the clinic did?
And you're looking through tags, and other than that one, no. It looks like maybe 3 days ago, somebody said they saw her at the airport, but then unfortunately it doesn't get you very much. But so yeah, you definitely have a sighting at the airport, but nothing more recent than 3 days. So it seems like she's been laying low, and her disguise somewhat worked.
Fair enough.
Well, I've got a question for the doc, Agent Patch. Today we saw that the incident was caused by transfer of blood from her.
Right.
The boyfriend, the original explodee, how would he have gotten it if not blood? Could it be saliva?
I think bodily fluids. They were having sex, bodily fluids.
But do female bodily fluids get into a male? I mean, I could see it if he was depositing bodily fluids into her.
I mean, if
the answer is yes. The answer to Prada's question is yes.
What was my question?
Oh, the answer is
he would be injected, like if he would be receiving her bodily fluid.
If the exchange of bodily fluids during heterosexual sex is mutual, which it is.
So I wonder then if it could also be in her saliva, because
it's possible. Not all. I mean, if we're thinking of this like an STI, not all STIs are transmitted via all bodily fluids, just some bodily fluids.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, I think Agent Pawn is thinking he's going to get a ski mask and tonight go pay a visit to Mr. Phelps. He must be nearby since he walked into the clinic.
You could probably track him down.
Yeah, he might. Well, we have his license plate. I imagine we can find his home. I don't know. He might just be a paparazzi that had some idea that London would be here. And if he has an idea of where she would have been, he might give us an inside lead.
Phelps, yeah, I agree. Wasn't that also one of the people on the list of victims?
Could be a coincidence. Ooh. Yes, though. The lawyer, I think.
The lawyer was Phelps also.
Was it Phelps or Phillips?
I thought it was Phelps.
I thought it was Phelps.
It was. Well. It was actually Phelps. And
be a common last name.
And it is spelled the same name.
It's a fairly common last name.
It is.
Well, if you feel it necessary, what about the pregnant woman and the nurse?
I had said I was going to take their samples. John, did
I
include all that in the
yes, I remember you mentioned you took their samples, and then after sending the policeman home, you said you sent them as well because you wanted to clear the scene. They're also clear. It looks like
they should be fine. Whether or not we want to deal with them, I don't necessarily think we need to.
Oh, how did the fire go?
Oh yeah, was it in the news or anything like that?
Oh, the fire of the facility?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. There's definitely been news of a fire. In fact, there is you actually turn the news on, and there is there's a representative from the FBI. The real, the FBI that's actually on the case too. This guy says, it is Agent Rodriguez, and he says, listen, there's been an incident, involving a fire at I believe there was some sort of incident, possibly a quarantine. If you have any any information, or you were at the Quigley Lab facility within the last 2 days, please give us a call. We're working with the CDC and the Department of Homeland Security on this one. We just want to make sure that everyone's safe and there's no remaining threat. This is very strange. We're looking into the fire right now to see if it was arson or a accidental fire. But seeing as there was apparently a violent incident, we had unfortunately, it looks like we got a police officer was bravely lost their life here, unfortunately, today. And so we're going to be looking into this and giving them all the due diligence, And he goes on and, panders to the press and, continues. So it seems that, the officials are onto it. And it seems that nobody stopped it from going up in blaze.
Well, then I guess we've got just more investigation to do before we. What is she up to?
That excellent question. Do you think it's only been a week? Do you think she might be making her way down to the Bell farm or the Farnsworth farm?
Could be.
Word may not have gotten around that it had been destroyed.
When she first came up, I thought she was an innocent bystander, and now it seems like she's not only directly involved, but she's actively doing something.
It's just very nefarious.
And if she's, reading through the farmer guy's journal, he was intent on infecting people. He was going out and sleeping with prostitutes and spreading his seed around in the hopes of creating some sort of the syndrome people. And then collecting the ones that he thought were worthy candidates and then trying to turn them into what they were. Maybe she's doing something like that, but in a different direction.
That's the key. We need to know what she wanted and why the hell she decided to do this. Did we see anyone outside? Like, was someone watching? Why would she set it up and then just leave? Did she assume it would be on the news?
What if it's compatibility? What if she's looking for somebody with a genetic trait that's compatible with hers, and when they explode, they're not? So all she has to do is find out if they exploded.
I mean, I agree with Prada. We definitely have to find out motive, because that can tell us a lot. I wouldn't mind getting a bug on her car too.
Yeah.
But the point of, why make a scene? Because it definitely made a scene and risking.
I wonder if
exposure.
I could set up an interview with her. I could tell her that I'm interviewing for, what's my magazine? Ion Art Journal.
You think she'd give you an interview?
What was it called?
Ion Art Journal. Ion Art Journal.
Well, if you need a cameraman, I'll be there. Back you up.
We might be able to set that up. I'll see what I can do. I mean, at least we can get a good look at her. As long as she doesn't spray me with her blood.
I suppose
bodily fluids.
He offers you a drink, I wouldn't take it.
I suppose it could be just a lack of sophistication on her part. Like, the old man Farnsworth was a wizard. Like, maybe he knew what he was doing, and she doesn't. And so the only thing she knows how to do is just randomly.
Well, we know that there was wizard involved. We know that there was a witch involved.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe she's on the witch side. Who knows?
Yeah, that's a good
point. And maybe you're
though.
right. Maybe she doesn't have a clue of what she's doing. She does. She knows exactly what she's doing. She knew that person was going to explode, or maybe.
Yeah, and we're going to get her.
All right.
Cool. Yeah. So it sounds like you have some things like y'all are going to look into. Mr. Phelps, looking into further London. Potentially trying to set up an interview, getting in contact with her. There was also the sex tape that was mentioned. You could look into that a little more as well, and the other paparazzi. But yeah, awesome. Was there anything anyone else wanted to add or mention to brainstorm for next time? Or cool, awesome, great session. Yeah, good, very good.
All right. Our players included Holly Buto, Nathan Decker, Julian Arba, Alex Sun, and myself with John Dos Passos as the Keeper of the Secrets. We have a Discord server where you can chat with other members, you can set up private games, and you can learn the finer arts of gameplay and game mastering. We provide audio-only versions of our shows free for you to download from Podbean or iTunes. If you'd like to help support our show, please visit our Patreon account. Just $1 or $2 a month helps us a lot. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and punch the bell icon for updates on our latest shows, and leave us some comments. We enjoy reading them and answering any questions you might have. This is Tom Rayleigh, together with all the members of our gaming club, inviting you to journey with us once again into the darkness for another adventure into the universe of H.P. Lovecraft and the Delta Green role-playing game. Until next time, good luck, good gaming.